Hey, Jeep driving friends out there. A couple weeks back, actually more like a couple months back, I was helping a friend out, pulling him out of the mud, and I'd actually just done a recovery shortly before that, and I was using my winch, and I got to a point where I could not get to the front of my vehicle while I was using the winch for safety purposes and because it was fairly sunken into the mud. And as I was pulling my friend out, I heard a loud popping noise. Well, as it turns out, the rope had concentrated to the center of the winch and put so much pressure on the winch that it actually snapped part of the winch housing and the side that holds the spool. So I've been actually still using it and it's worked okay, probably pretty sketchy, but today I'm going to go through the process of replacing the broken parts. So here is a little documentary of me fixing my winch. So what I have here is a worn VR8S winch, and it is mounted on the 75th anniversary bumper on my 2016 Jeep Wrangler 2-door. And as you can see, what happened here is this part of the housing here cracked, which is actually part of the frame that holds the motor into the winch. And then this bridge that goes across here, this top section here also cracked. And that was from the rope binding up across here and putting so much pressure here that it broke it. It's all the more reason why you need to keep a close eye on your fair lead and your winch as you're engaged in recovery, and how dangerous it can be to not do that. With the remotes now and being able to get away from the front for safety, you still need to be mindful of how your winch is spooling up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull off my skid plate from underneath here, and I'm hoping that's going to give me access to the mounting bolts inside the battery here, inside the bumper here, so that I can loosen it up, pull the winch up a little bit, and make the repair. So I'm going to walk you through it. First, I'm going to show you the parts that I've got to make the repair. Okay, so the actual names of the parts we're replacing. This is the tie support kit, and that is this bridge that goes across the top of the drum. And then these are the drum support kit, and I will be replacing one side of them, and I'm going to keep the other one as a spare in case something ever happens to the other side. So now I'm going to get to work on getting the skid plate off and gaining access to the bottom of the winch. Okay, it was a little tight, but I did manage to get in underneath here, and I had to finagle my way up in here, but I managed to get these 4 bolts out. I also took all these bolts out to get the skid plate off, and now my winch is free. I'll be able to lift it up a little bit and start disassembling. Okay, here is my winch. It has been removed from the bumper. I've got it disassembled. There's the drum sitting in the middle. I pulled out the hex bolts that were in the side here. Those are 1/4-inch hex. It held it all together, and it just quite simply pulls apart. I'm actually kind of amazed. I've got the control module disconnected over here from the winch. So this is where the tie bridge is. So I'll be replacing the tie bridge here at the control module, and then I will be replacing this drum support on the motor side. The other side has the clutch. So I'm going to get to that. And the way I'm going to remove this motor support, or this drum support, is these 2 bolts on the outside, which go through the motor housing and through to the drum support. So I'm going to start with that, and I will do the tie bridge next. Quick little trick here, as I'm pulling the power cable out, the 12 volt that goes to the battery, I'm actually connecting this piece of rope to it as I pull it down through the engine and up to the front. And I'm doing that so that when I want to go put this back, I can easily fish it through. This is what's called a messenger line. I'll just reconnect the lead here, and I will pull it back up through so it comes out here, and I won't have to spend a lot of time doing that. Okay, the tie bridge has been replaced, and so has the drum support. I'm going to reassemble the motor, put the tie bridge back in place, and attach the clutch side, and we should be ready to reinstall. Okay, I have a fully reassembled, no cracks, nothing broken, worn VR8S ready to reinstall. It's going to be going right in here inside my bumper. We've got our messenger set up to pull the 12 volt back in. We've got our, here it is. We've got our ground right here ready to go. That'll be the first wire that we reconnect, and we'll get it bolted back into the mounting bracket. And here we go. All right, Jeep friends, I have completed the project. The winch is installed and put back together, and we are ready to hit the road as soon as I put my skid plate back on. But as far as the repair goes, it is complete. It did take me about an hour and a half of total time. I would definitely say that if you're mechanically inclined and have worked on installing and removing winches, you could get it down to even an hour. If you're not so mechanically inclined, you could probably pick your way through this in about 2 hours. Anyway, if you were ever wondering if your worn winch is user serviceable and if they're repairable parts, they certainly are, and this whole thing cost me about 80 bucks to fix. So thanks for watching, and good luck and stay safe out there on the trails.